Using the Ti-84 graphing calculator to graph piecewise functions. Southwestern College, Professor Maria Olivas. In this video, I will show you how to use the Ti-84 plus CE graphing calculator to graph a piecewise function. I will be showing you two different methods in this video. The piecewise function that we will be working with is the one you see on the right-hand side of the screen. f of x equals 4 for x is less than or equal to 0. 3 minus x squared for x is greater than 0 and x is less than or equal to 2. 2x minus 6 for x is greater than 2. This particular function has three pieces. So for our first method in graphing a piecewise function on our graphing calculator, it is important to count the number of pieces in your piecewise function. Then we are going to input each one of these pieces in as a separate function in the y equals screen. Each one of these pieces will be represented as y sub 1, y sub 2, and y sub 3. Let's first click on the y equals button, which is the button in the upper left-hand corner of your graphing calculator. This will take us to our new screen where we will see y sub 1 equals. We will type in y sub 1 equals 4. Then we will put the division symbol. And then after that division symbol, this will separate our condition. We will open up a set of parentheses. And we will put x is less than or equal to 0. For the less than or equal to symbol, we're going to go second, math, in order to access that test feature. And if you look, it's going to be on the number 6 option, so we're just going to go ahead and press on number 6. And then we'll press on 0, and then close the parentheses. Now press the down arrow key. Now we're going to type in our second function. So y sub 2 equals 3 minus x squared. And the condition associated with this piece is going to be, we're going to put divided by, open up a set of parentheses. In order to put this compound inequality in, we're going to have to write this kind of as two separate inequalities. So first we're going to type in x is greater than 0. So we're going to press x. Then we're going to go second and test. Greater than is number 3. So press on number 3, and then we will press 0. Now we need the word and to join the two inequalities. So we're going to go second, test. We're going to go to the right arrow key and then press enter on number 1 for and. And then last is x is less than or equal to 2. So second test for less than or equal to, that's number 6. And then we can press 2 and close the parentheses. Now down arrow key for y sub 3. For y sub 3, we're going to write y sub 3 equals 2x minus 6. And then we're going to press on the division symbol to separate the condition, open up a set of parentheses, and x is greater than 2. So that'll be x, and then second test, greater than is number 3, so press number 3, and 2, and close our parentheses. So this represents our piecewise function. Now we're ready to graph. So let's go ahead and press the graph button. And here we have our graph. Now if you notice in this graph, it does not show us where our open and closed circles are. So you do need to be aware, if you are going to represent this on a graph yourself, where to place those open and closed circles. I will go ahead and draw a graph at the end of this video with the open circles and the closed circles, so it's very clear for you to see the actual graph of this piecewise function. But first, let me demonstrate to you the second method that we're going to use to graph this piecewise function on the graphing calculator. We're going to go to y equals. We're going to press the down arrow key. Oh, but first let me turn off this. I'm going to all the equal signs for those first three, and I'm going to turn them off by pressing enter on those equal signs because I don't want them to show up on my graph. We're going to go to y sub 4 equals and press on math, and this time we're going to go up. So press the up arrow key until you land on B where it says piecewise and press enter. It's going to ask you how many pieces are in your piecewise function. We have 3, so I'm just going to go ahead and press OK. Now we're going to type in our piecewise function here. This is 4. And here we don't need to press in that 4. We can just write x is less than or equal to 0. Now we're going to go down and then left arrow, and then we're going to type in 3 minus x squared. And the condition for this one, we do not have to use the word and separate this into two inequalities here. So I'm just going to go ahead and type in that compound inequality just as we see it. So 0 is less than x, and x is less than or equal to 2. And then down, and then left arrow, and the last piece of our piecewise function is 2x minus 6, and the condition here is x is greater than 2. So we have typed in our piecewise function, so now we are ready to graph it. So the only function here that's going to be graphed is our y sub 4, because it's the only one that has our equal sign is highlighted. So we see the same graph that we saw before when I had graphed my y sub 1, my y sub 2, and my y sub 3. But this time I only had to graph y sub 4, and I was able to complete the piecewise function with just that one function. I'm going to change the color because I think maybe this pink color might be hard for some people to see. I'm just going to go ahead and change it to, let me see if I can find the color black. There it is. Enter on black, and then, oh sorry, OK. I meant press OK and then enter, and then we get a nice darker image, and that way it's easier for everyone to see. I'm going to go ahead and graph this on the graph that just appeared on our screen. So this way I can draw in my open circles and my closed circles, so it's very clear for you to see what the actual graph of this is supposed to look like. We will begin by graphing the first piece here, which is f of x equals 4 for x is less than or equal to 0. F of x equals 4 is basically just a horizontal line where y is equal to 4. Now we're only going to graph that horizontal line where x is less than or equal to 0. Because it says x is less than or equal to 0, I know that it is including that value of x equal to 0. So therefore, at the point 0, 4, I am going to draw a closed circle, because it is including the value there for that point. I'm going to draw an open circle on 0, 3 for the second piece though, Because if you notice on the second piece, the condition where f of x equals 3 minus x squared, it says for x is greater than 0, strictly greater than 0. I'm also going to use the table feature here to come up with a few other points to help me. So I'm going to use this point right here, 1, 2, and I'm also going to use the point here, 2, -1, to help me draw this parabola, or this piece of a parabola. And I am going to draw a closed circle at the point 2, -1, because I see that it is including that value of x equal to 2. And then for our last piece, f of x equals 2x minus 6, I'm going to substitute the 2 here into our function. So 2 times 2 minus 6 equals 4 minus 6, which is equal to -2. And I know it's an open circle. I know it's not including that value, but I'm just substituting it in to find out where that open circle is. There's going to be an open circle at 2, -2. So there's my open circle. And because this is a linear function, or linear piece of a function, I'm going to go ahead and come up with a few more points using the slope, up 2 over 1, connect my points, and draw an arrow at the end. And there is my piecewise function.